From the Raw Boxing TV studios, your host, Ranger. Information may cause headaches to hates or bias casual fans.
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you.
The host that gives you facts with very little feelings. From the city of the greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali, the man who floats like a butterfly and stings like a bee.
I'm going to show you how great I am.
Louisville, Kentucky. It's showtime.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome once again to Raw Boxing TV. I want to thank you for being here, waiting for me. Those of you that are waiting, thank you for being punctual. Mr. Tyco TV, HLD in the building, Puerto Rican Rome, thank you. Thank you for the faithfulness, the constant support. As always, tonight, we will be talking about the fights. I will then go to the comments, and then I'll drop the link to share a little bit of time with whoever chooses to join in. Great news. Our brother Punch sent me this text where he says, Dímelo de lo mío. Gracias por todo, meaning thank you for everything. I'm heavily medicated at the moment. Speech is all slurred up. Thank you for everything. I'm reading everything now. My wife told me many was hitting me up. Thank you. God is good. Amen. God is good all the time. Prayers are working. Keep the brother up in prayer. At least we have a hell of a good news, and it's that he's actually, I wouldn't say up, but in much better shape than he was a couple of days ago. G Funky in the building. Welcome once again, Mr. Jill Lopez. Thank you for that super chat where it says, bruh, F all that noise. You know who won. Pitbull. Hey, man, we're going to talk about it. Thank you for being here. And we're going to talk about it. We're just going to allow people to start coming in. In the meantime, hit the thumbs up so YouTube can start sending a notification. You know how the algorithm works. Man, I got to tell you guys, boxing is good. And we have learned a few things in the last few days of boxing, especially in this weekend. And we're going to continue to learn some things over the next few months from specific fighters. Guido de lo mío, one of my homies from New York City. New York City. Tyco TV, I've been thinking about Punch. I'm so happy he's recovered. I am extremely happy as well, man. This is a YouTube community, man. This is a YTBC. In the middle of all the hate, in the middle of all the drama, in the middle of all the jealousy, from one channel to another, from the human standpoint, all of that needs to be set aside and wish nothing but the best on people. And when I received that text today, man, I was extremely happy to see that Brother Punch was already up. Again, I'm going to display that text here where he says, Dímelo de lo mío. Gracias por todo. I'm heavily medicated at the moment. Speech is all stirred up. Thank you for everything. I'm reading everything now. My wife told me people was hitting me. Thank you. God is good. And that is true. God is good. God is good. The GOAT, Mario P. Welcome. Welcome, my brother. Welcome. Thank you for being here. As always, we're just letting people, giving it a little bit of time to allow people to get caught up. Dice mi hermano de Puerto Rico, HLD. Wepa, what's up, my brother? Hey, yesterday we just beautiful thing at the end of the live stream, where we allow people to show their true colors. Beautiful thing, man. Beautiful thing. HLD, all these people, man, always constantly supporting me. And in the middle of my breaks, people like HLD, people like G Funky, people like Tyco, D Style, Punch, they always give me motivation to come back and continue to do what I do. And I'm a very social person, so when I drop the link, I'm expecting people to join in. Obviously, if you don't feel comfortable, you don't. But I know HLD 9 out of 10 times, or 9.5 out of 10 times, joins me, and I enjoy a conversation with him, and I enjoy a conversation with whoever, even the haters. Sometimes it's good to it's just good to allow haters to come out, show their true colors. It's good. The lightweight division is a division, man, that is on fire right now. Not only is it on fire, but it's continuously fooling itself with more drama. If you agree, hit that chat. Hit that comment section and let me know if you agree. That is extremely true, man. Jill Lopez, thank you for the super chat once again, man. Prayers for Punch. Love from Mexico and Dominican. Pitbull 1. Let's get it. We're going to be talking about that. I was just talking about that on the phone with G Funk before I went live, man. It's we'll talk about it. But I'm sure if Punch is seeing this, man, he will appreciate this, man. The prayers must continue. He's a strong man. He's gonna pull through, and I'm hoping he's back to doing what he loves to do within a week or so. I'm hoping he's also able to provide for his family. And as of now, I extended my help towards him again financially, and he said all he needs is the positives and the prayers in God. That's what he said. All I need is God and the prayers. Which goes again to say, debunking the disgusting narrative that he's faking this accident because he wants people to come up with money and give it to him. That's a disgusting narrative. And with that being said, I'm glad that he replied in that manner, because that shows once again that it's all fake, that it's all a lie. It's all a lie. El Chido, Alex. Que hola, Seri. What's up, my truck driving brother? What is going on with you, man? Glad to have you here. We'll be starting here in a few minutes. Just allowing all the people to come on in. Pitbull 1 says Jamel Matos, my son. My son agrees. Pitbull 1. My son agrees. And if my son agrees, it must be true. You can't, because this is my son's new motto. This is my son's new motto. Dad, it's not about a different mindset. It's about a different grind set. When I heard that, I about flipped in my pants. All these youngsters nowadays coming up with all this inspirational speaking, quotes and stuff. But it is what it is, man. Boxing is good, ladies and gentlemen. Things are going well. Boxing is good. It's showing us a face of certain boxers that we kind of knew. But for some reason, every time we said something about it, we were categorized as haters. And so when something like this happens, and it's displayed in front of our eyes, then me as a content creator that's been called a hater for telling you the very thing that just happened in front of your eyes, it kind of makes me happy. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not even gonna lie. Mr. Guido seems to agree that Pitbull won. He had it 7-5 for Pitbull Cruz. Man, we're gonna talk about this because I'm loving the interaction when it comes to this. In the meantime, the polls on the comment section, make sure to participate as you come in. Once again, make sure to hit that thumbs up. Mr. Tony Boswell, my brother, thank you for being here. Thank you for your constant support, my brother. And in case you didn't know, Tony, Punch is doing well. Here's a text that he sent me. Hold on, let me remove your comment. Here's a text that he sent me where I don't know if you knew he was involved in a horrific car crash. Almost got put in an induced coma or something like that due to brain swelling, spinal injuries or something like that. But he's waking up right now. And he's out of the ICU. He's been out of the ICU since yesterday, I believe. And so everything is good. God is good. Prayers have worked, and the entire community have come together to pray for the brother and bring forth the healing power of God. At the same time, an entire community has come together to wish him death and to say that he was faking this whole thing in order to receive money. And I'm glad that when I offered the financial help for his wife, she didn't accept it. And Punch itself didn't accept it. He said, all I need is prayers and God, debunking that narrative. So I'm glad. Lies debunk themselves sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes we don't even need to go after liars that much. Sometimes you can let a lie come in, and before you even know it, the truth just overpowers it. Something happens to debunk the lie, and then the lie looks ridiculous. Like last night, LT looked extremely ridiculous in the middle of his hate. Last night, everybody that wished death upon Punch looked extremely disgusting and ridiculous because the power of God was able to overthrow all of that stuff. Sometimes we don't need to fight a lie. When we pray, God takes care of everything. Now, I don't want to turn this into a sermon. Trust me, I can preach. But we're not going to do that. But we are going to give thanks and praise to the one and only. And that is God. Thank you. Punch is pulling through. I'm happy for him. I can't wait to see him back in action. Obviously, one of my favorite channels. I like Mayweather. New cup. Let's see. I like new Mayweather. New cop of you don't know shit about Maxie. When they ask about Mayweather versus. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Mayweather. We're going to go into Mayweather as well. Mayweather's one of those guys that I'm glad you guys are here. Once I drop the link, I expect some of you guys to come in and let's mount a good live stream in this subject, because Mayweather has contradicted himself a whole lot. And so, yeah. I'm going to be starting here in a few minutes. Tycho TV said, I had it a draw or could see at a split decision for Tank. Okay. Decent. Yes, thank God. He is. Yeah, yes, sir. Tell him. Genius 2, welcome to the channel once again, man. Thank you so much for being here. The word robbery loses its meaning when you call a fighter like this a robbery. Fox versus Maestre. Maestre Whitaker versus Chavez. Oh yeah, he's putting. Oh yeah. Yeah, truly. Yeah. I agree. It could have gone either way. Worthy of a rematch, but we already got a hell nah. Thank you. That hell nah means a lot, HLD. That hell nah means a lot. We're going to be talking about, it's going to be a lit live stream. I'm telling you guys, the narratives are falling apart by the very evidence that's taking place inside of the ring. The very thing we've been called hater for, it's now being proven in the ring. Now, notice we don't even have to talk about it that much. It's happening in the ring in front of their very known eyes. But, sometimes people choose to lie to themselves. They choose to see the truth, put it aside because it makes them uncomfortable, and continue on the path of lies. But I'm glad that there are people out here that are constantly looking at this live stream, then looking at the fights, and they're realizing that, maybe this Cuban kid is onto something. Maybe his Cuban kid's up to something. Yo, why is Mayweather so jealous of Canelo Alvarez so much? We're going to go into that as well. Yeah, we got a packed night tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Remember to hit the thumbs up as you come in so YouTube can start sending the notifications. The polls in the comment section. Make sure to participate on that, man. I'm kind of glad, to be honest with you, that things are happening in the way that they are happening. G Funky Boxing, Genius 2, it's not a robbery, but Cruz won that fight. With opinion on whether hating on Canelo gets you more followers. Of course. It seems they didn't wear Canelo's gloves. Nope. And they wanted to. We're going to go into that. Tito Donis, welcome once again, my brother. Welcome once again. I can't believe that people out here are really bad-mouthing Punch when he's not able to step up for himself. Shh. Again, like I said yesterday in that video, the social fabric, man. We got a bunch of cowards out here. We got a bunch of nasty people out here, and they feel comfortable talking, obviously through a keyboard, through a camera, and wishing evil upon people that, instead of wishing them well. But it is what it is. Hey, he'll open. Punch, do you want this finances? Punch, hell nah. That's a good one, Gil. That's a good one. That's a good one. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go into the subject. Thank you out of respect for those that are here. Thank you so much for being on time. And let's go on and dig this, man. Let's go on and dig this, man. Uh, for many for many months, really, maybe for a couple of years, we've been going into the subject of Corleone Melo. Welcome, man. Respect to Punch, and we always got at it by live is bigger than boxing. Correct. All right, guys, I'm going to ignore the comments for now. Not on purpose. I just don't want to lose my train of thought. So if you see me not reading any more comments, obviously you know why. So I just don't want to lose my train of thought on this one. But for many months, maybe over a year and a half, maybe close to 2 years, a lot of the YouTube channel have been first of all, if you can hear me fine, just let me know in the comment section, because I'm getting a better feedback on my mic here. Many YouTube channels for months, not only have they been creating a narrative to make these fighters look like they are the next level legends, to make these fighters look like they're creating a hell of a legacy for themselves, to make this fighter look like they are unstoppable, to make these fighters look like they are the next PPV star, to make these fighters look like they are the next face of boxing. I'm talking about Tank Davis, of course, under the banner of Floyd Mayweather Promotion. I'm talking about Devin Haney, of course. Many YouTube channels have been creating the narrative and pushing the narrative real hard that these fighters are, all that in a bag of chips. And don't get me wrong, these are good fighters. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying they're not good. I'm not saying that they're not good. However, what I am saying is that maybe these fighters are not the caliber of fighters that the narrative have been selling us for the past year and a half, maybe two. But the question remains, why? Why? Because when you look at these fighters fight, hey, they seem to have talent. When you see these fighters fight, hey, you know what? They look like they can do something in the future. They look like they can create for themselves a hell of a legacy when it comes to boxing. Not only financially, but also a legacy when it comes to the sport. So that way, when they retire, they are remembered by those that are coming behind them. So that way, whenever they are retired, people from their generation, when they're older, can tell their kids about them. They look like they have the skills to do that. And you've been sold by many other channels like they already doing that. But then you got channels out here like myself, like Punch, like D-Style, like G-Funky, like many other good channels. If I'm forgetting your name right now, please forgive me. That are actually trying to grab your clout and bringing it down a bit. Why? Well, the higher your clout is, if you fall down, the harder you're going to hit the ground. That's just it. And with that being said, when we see something as boxing fans, as content creators, as boxing analysts, and we choose, because this is a choice, we choose to be honest in our assessment of the fighter or the situation. For some reason, there are channels out there that are content in their lies, in their narrative, and keeps pushing the narrative and keeps pushing these channels, and these fighters in the same way they were pushing it before, because somehow it's working for them. They're getting the money, they're getting the following, they're getting the clicks. But then here comes a time when these fighters get in the ring, and now all of a sudden, you see the very opposite that they've been selling you happening inside the ring. For many months, we've been telling you guys, why is Tank Davis fighting these kinds of levels of opposition? He fights a Leo Santa Cruz. Blast him. To me, that's the best win he's had so far. He fights an old Gamboa. Gamboa gets a torn Achilles in the second round. And Gamboa still manages to go all the way to the last round, I believe, is when he got stopped by Tank. Then he fights, what was that other kid? Navarrete? No, not Navarrete. Barrios, because he had a belt. Which is fine. If he has a belt and you're going after it. My point is, the levels of opposition that they're fighting does not incentivize the platform, the pedestal that these other channels are putting them in. It just doesn't. And what happens is when you get your fighter used to fighting these levels of opposition and you increase the difficulties a bit, then the fighters don't look as good. They just don't. I mean, you seen Devin Haney last night, right? Or the previous night to that. He got in there with a younger fighter. He got in there with a fresher fighter. And it didn't look too good, huh? He even got wobbled a few times. He looked like he was on survival mode there for a minute. But Haney was being compared to Floyd Mayweather by these channels. Tank Davis, he's been sold to you guys. Although, in my opinion, Tank Davis is a very good fighter. Very good. Notice the word good does not amount to great. He is a very good fighter. What was it? 16, 17 consecutive knockouts coming into this fight against a cherry pick. Because you can't look at me and tell me that when they picked Mr. Cruz, they thought, man, this is going to be a hell of a fight. This is going to be a hell of an opponent. We're going to go in there and struggle. We're going to give the people what they want. This is going to add to my legacy. No. You can't honestly look at me and tell me that is what went through Mayweather's head, Leonard Ellerby's head, Tank Davis' head when they chose this fighter. They saw him shorter, not known, very young, 22, 23 years old. And they thought, he has a decent record. He's known as the Pitbull. We're going to get him out of there. In fact, yesterday I ran a poll. If you go back to the poll, a lot of people thought this was going to be a knockout victory for Tank. But what happens is they didn't count that the Pitbull was coming ready for a fight. They didn't count that the Pitbull was coming ready for a fight. And the levels of difficulties were a little higher than they expected. And since the levels of difficulties were a little higher than they expected, then the results were a lot different than they expected. In fact, the results were so different that you saw Mayweather extremely nervous in his seat. He kept getting up, flowing his hands, periodically smiling, but then you would see his face of wariness. The results were so different that when Tank was asked, you ready to run it back for a rematch? He didn't say no. He said, hell no. He didn't say no. He said, hell no. But you see, the proof is in the pudding, and all you got to do is look at the evidence. Now I'll tell you how I had to fight. I had to fight a draw. With consideration of the fourth round, that could have gone either way. And if you gave it to Pitbull, that would have been a victory for Pitbull, and I would have been fine with it, right? I had the first round for Pitbull, the 7th, and then the 9th, the 10th, the 11th, and 12th, all for Pitbull. And you might say, well, Ranger, it was a draw then. Yeah, but then I go back to this thing back to 1999 or 2000, I don't remember, when Oscar De La Hoya faced Tito Trinidad, and Oscar De La Hoya put on a boxing clinic, and Oscar De La Hoya decided to, take a break in the last 3 rounds. And all of a sudden, Tito Trinidad took over the fight. Last night's fight, although the Tank Davis did not put on a clinic like Oscar De La Hoya did, because the fight was very competitive from the get-go, if you run. I thought that if you ran, you lose rounds. But somehow, in this case, although that not only was he moving, because I don't like calling it running, I believe the ring is there, the space is there, use it. So I'm not going to knock him for moving around. Hell no. But I need you to move around while being busy. And last night, he was moving around and periodically shooting single shots while Mr. Pitbull kept his earmuffs on, closed the gap, went to the body relentlessly with flush shots to the body, overhand rise by Mr. Pitbull, continue the pressure, landing successfully in those last 3 rounds. Aside from the rest of the fight being extremely competitive, and if you look at the 4th round, that 4th round could have really gone either way. I just felt comfortable giving it to Tank because periodically Pitbull allowed Tank to land those lead left hands that made him look good. And it was a close round. And although they were exchanging, both fighters were landing very good in that 4th round. But then when you, same thing that Jojo Diaz did with Haney, he came to a stop periodically and allowed him to win rounds that he was losing. And that's why that 4th round, I was like, Davis. But it could have gone to Pitbull. So when I see a 7-5 in favor of Cruz, I'm fine. Fine. Because like I said, in my opinion, that 4th round could have gone either way. Could have gone either way. Those last rounds, in my opinion, should have been the decisive factor of the fight. Those last rounds, in my opinion, should have taken the same effect that it took when De La Hoya faced Tito Trinidad. That entire fight, in my opinion, showed you all, the ones that create the narrative, the ones that believe the narrative, that these fighters, I don't care if you tell me that Tank Davis is a 3-division world champion, these fighters are not ready for the heat. They're not ready for the heat. They're not ready for the heat. The more higher levels of opposition they fight, you all of a sudden see their fights get a little more controversial. They're not ready for the hit for the heat, man. And what's happening is that we're creating a monster for profits only. Mayweather promotion, Leonard Ellerby, they've told you to your face. We out here concerned about legacy, and they're like, no. Hey, come here. Let me tell you something. We ain't worried about no legacy, man. We're worried about selling pay-per-views. We're worried about making money. We're not even going to fight outside of our promotional companies, outside of our network. We just going to put our fighters with Latino fighters because the money's there. But notice, the Latino fighters have been carefully selected because the money's there. So you're saying the Tank is, becoming this great fighter, and Mayweather's like, no, we just worried about selling tickets. We're not worried about Tank's legacy. We worried about selling tickets. And I don't know about you, but if I'm going to be a boxer and they're risking my life, not only for the entertainment, not only for the money, man, I don't know if it's ego, I don't know, but when I'm retired, I would like to leave something behind that inspires the very guy next coming after me. I will leave something behind for when my kids are talking about me. Their friends can look on YouTube or whatever streaming platform they'll be in the future and say, man, I looked at your dad. Your dad was a beast, man. He fought everyone who was everyone, the best of the best, and he put it on him. I would like that. I don't know about y'all, but I would like that. I wouldn't just like the money. This boxing ain't just about the money. There's got to be a little bit of a legacy left behind. What if your own kid decides to fight? Right? But that's not what's being done with these fighters, unfortunately. It's all about the money. I really feel sorry for Tank. I really do. I believe it was 4 or 5 live streams ago when I said the Mayweather is overshadowing Tank Davis. And before I go into that, I just want to make it clear. I had it a draw, but that's just because that 4th round, could have gone either way. I just decided to give it a Tank. But if you tell me that Cruz won, congratulations. Does Cruz deserve a rematch? Hell yeah. Ask Tank Davis, and you know what he'll tell you? Hell no. That right there should tell you everything. What's crazy is a reporter asked Mayweather, and I love whoever this reporter was, my respect to him. Hell of a question. I like the way he structured the question because it unveiled the whole show here. He was like, when Mayweather fought Corrales, it was a close decision. Many people thought Corrales won. I mean, not Corrales, Castillo. Many people thought he won, and Mayweather ran it back. Is this the case? Is this going to happen? And Mayweather said the same thing. No, this ain't going to happen. He said he said that he saw Davis win clearly, that he probably, maybe, if he was generous, gave Mr. Cruz 4 rounds. And that is extremely promotional right there. It's promoter talking. It's promoter talking to try to make his fighter look good, but that's not promoter being honest. Mayweather's not being honest in his assessment of this fight. I mean, can you imagine if your own promoter is like, nah, I know they gave it to us, but really and truly should have gone to Cruz? That wouldn't look good. He after that cheddar. He's after the cheddar. I'm not lying. I'm simply telling you the same thing they told you to your face. They're worried about pay-per-view sales. And I like Tank. Let me switch it up a bit. I like Tank. I believe Tank has potential to be great. Starting with the fact that if Tank had the choice to pick his fights, or maybe if Tank had another promoter that said, listen, I want you to make money, but I want you to make legacy as well. Maybe we could see Tank in better fights, little by little improve. Maybe he'll win, maybe he'll lose, maybe he'll draw. Who knows? But he's creating a legacy, right? But when you look at Tank, you see a very quiet kid, active on Twitter. That's fine. Everybody today is very, we got a better keyboard warriors in all of us. That's just a fact. Active in Twitter, sort of quiet, overshadowed completely by Mayweather. Think about this for a minute. When they in the press conference, Mayweather's talking for him. And he don't just talk to elevate Tank. No. Mayweather always likes to talk about himself and his career. Well, when I don't nobody care when you're gone, you're done. It's all about Tank. It's all about your fighter. Promote your fighter. Don't promote your career that is over. And you see poor Tank Davis just sitting there, you know what I mean? Just, I guess I got to take it, he's going to say what he's going to say, so I guess I got to take it. You see it. He's not there to promote Tank Davis. He's there for his own ego with a narcissist person. And before you call me a Floyd Mayweather hater, I advise you to go back to my video history. This is my favorite fighter. You know how many haters I had to debate to defend this fighter? Don't believe me? Just go back through all my videos. I'm not hating on Floyd Mayweather, the fighter. I'm talking truth about Floyd Mayweather, the promoter. The narcissistic person that I'm seeing right now. The person that intelligently knows when to take advantage of certain narratives to drive everything in his favor. The person that instead of promoting his fighter, no, I'm first going to promote myself, and then whatever's left, I'll promote my fighter. And you can tell that Tank's not good with all of that. When Mayweather's talking, Tank doesn't even pay attention. It's kind of like, I'm here. I got to deal with this. Don't go back. Just go back. Look at the post-fight press conference. It's all about Mayweather. It's all about, I'm going to defend Tank. Well, let Tank talk. I know he don't talk much, but let him talk for himself for a minute. Stop talking about when you. Stop talking about that. What's next for Tank? In my opinion, what's next for Tank should be one of the big dogs. It's time to put him in there either with Haney or Kambosos, or if Kambosos and Haney fight and there's nobody else, take Ryan Garcia. Take Ryan Garcia. Welcome him back into the ring and let's see what happens. Let's see what happens, because I believe we got Lomachenko fighting Comey in a few weeks or so. So those two are busy. You can't even go to them. You want a big name? If Haney and this guy don't fight, go for Ryan Garcia. You beat Ryan Garcia, you beat somebody with name, with popularity. You shut him up a bit. And now you in the hot seat, ready to take on either Haney or Kambosos, whoever wins. You take on Haney or Kambosos and you beat them. Now, not only is your money going up, your record going up, but your legacy is going up a bit. And I still have the hopes to one day see Tank Davis versus Teofimo Lopez, whether it's at 135, I doubt it, or 140. I still have those hopes. I believe it can happen under a different promotional company. I don't think Mayweather will make that fight happen. I honestly don't think Mayweather will make that fight happen, but you just never know. Boxing is so crazy that if the money's right, maybe they'll be like, all right, dude, look, you might lose, but you're going to make this much. Let's take it. I'm hoping. What's next to Tank Davis? That. I don't know what you think. Drop it in the comment section. Let me know who you want to see Tank Davis against next. But that is the way I look at it. If Haney or Kambosos, if Haney and Kambosos fight each other, nobody else is left right now, go for Ryan. And then work your way from there. The question now is, what's next for Tank, for Mr. Pitbull Cruz? The first thing I'm going to say is Mr. Pitbull Cruz, last night, Pitbull Cruz grew in popularity. Last night, that fight with Davis put Cruz in a pedestal that he never expected to be in. Now the name Pitbull Cruz is known amongst the masses. Now the name Pitbull Cruz is known about the kid, in some people's eyes, that beat Tank Davis. In others, that draw Tank Davis. In others, that lost, but damn, he looked good against Tank Davis. In others, damn, he made Tank Davis say, hell no to a rematch. Now, Mr. Pitbull Cruz is in the hot mix. It's a fighter to be respected in the weight division. And I'm very glad for him because his life changed last night, not only from a popularity standpoint, but financially because he got paid. And from now on, he's going to continue to get paid. What's next for Pitbull Cruz? Man, listen, the sky's the limit. There's fighters still out there you can get. Get you some Abejon, Jackson Mariñez, probably a Jojo Diaz, and work from there. Start getting those names to position yourself there. Pitbull Cruz, man, I like his fighting style. Very relentless, but very defensively responsible. And this kid has a jaw. I don't care about Tank breaking his hands. Before he broke his hands, nothing he landed was able to hurt Mr. Cruz. Mr. Cruz was taking the shots and still coming forward. And so that's why I'm like, oh, man, what's next for this kid? This kid got some good things coming up for him because he came in, and as many people thought, especially the poll I ran yesterday, many people thought he was going to get washed. Many people thought he wasn't the Pitbull Cruz. Many people thought he was a lamb on the way to the slaughterhouse. And he came in, and he wasn't a wolf in sheep's clothing. He was a pit bull in sheep's clothing. He took that sheep's clothing, and he went to fight. And he made it nasty. And he made it relentless. And with that being said, all you got to do is put your hands together for Mr. Cruz. And I think a star is born in the lightweight division. In this division that is so packed with talent, but at the same time, so overshadowed by the drama, so overshadowed by the decisions of certain promotional companies, so overshadowed by the lack of wanting to go after a legacy that, in my opinion, my goodness, this weight division could be the leading weight division right now in boxing, but the drama just won't allow it. The drama just won't allow it. I'm just hoping that things can start changing in a positive manner for Cruz, but I'm hoping that the fights that we start seeing Tank Davis involved in are fights that are adding to his legacy and not just to his pocket. And once again, I want to bring this up for those of you that haven't heard from Punch. This is the latest news. He texted me earlier today. You can see the time here, 7:07, where he said, "De lo mío, gracias por todo," means thank you for everything. I'm heavily medicated at the moment. Speech is all slurred up. Thank you for everything. I'm reading everything now. My wife told me Minnie was hitting me. Thank you. God is good. The brother is doing good. And I'm extremely happy. And if he's watching this, shouts out to you, man. Shouts out to you. I hope to see you soon back on the YTBC doing your thing. There's a lot of sewer rats that were coming out in the bunches talking about wishing that you would die. But the Lord kept you safe. There's a lot of sewer rats that came out talking about you was faking this because you wanted us to come up with a way to collect money for you. But your wife turned down the help and you turned down the help by telling me that all you need is prayers in God, debunking that nasty narrative. Like I said, sometimes we don't have to fight the lie. The lie just dies on its own. It's just not strong enough. You shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free. And that's just that. I'm happy with the fight yesterday. No complaint at all. Let me get caught up with the comments here. Be dropping the link. It said, El Chido, LA, they mad because Canelo wished. Oh, yeah, let's go into that a little bit before, while we wait for people to start joining the panel. For some awkward reason, Mayweather can't seem to get his Canelo's name out of his mouth. You've seen the interview where he's alluring to the fact that Canelo, or to the accusation that Canelo's, is using PEDs. But he was very smart. Well, in which fight you think he was dirty? I just don't know. Sometimes he doesn't have to tell you. The purpose is to plant a doubt, to create a doubt. I'm going to put the little seed of doubt right here. And now you do what you want with it. And as I said yesterday, you can take advantage out of the ignorance of the masses. It seems like Mayweather cannot seem to get that name out of his mouth. It seems that he was so used to being the leading face of boxing that now he can't stand seeing somebody else as the face of boxing, and therefore his job is to bash him at all time. Maybe that's the reason he doesn't want his fighters to create a legacy. Maybe that's why he wants his fighters to continue to fight for good money, but with low-level oppositions or mid-level oppositions, because that way their legacy is not as great as his. And it's funny when he says, look, I beat the kid in his prime. Well, no, you didn't. You beat the kid up while he was young. You beat the kid up when he was young, but you never beat the kid in his boxing prime. And here's the reason why, Floyd Mayweather. The reason why is because when you were his age, not only did you had hundreds of amateur fights, but you had 20-something, maybe 30 professional bouts. But when Canelo was your age, the age that you were referring to in the video, Canelo had a handful of pro fight, and only 15 amateur fights. He was a fighter learning on the job. The problem is that fighter that learned on the job continue to learn, continue to evolve, continue to make himself better. Now he's the face of boxing, and you can't stand it. Time moves on, bro. Time moves on. And you have to accept that somebody's going to come behind and do what you did. And I'm not even worried about the 50-0, guys. I really don't. I mean, who cares? Great achievement, great accomplishment. That's it. Why can't you get this kid's name out of your mouth? Because the narcissism in you won't allow you to allow him to freely continue on his career. Won't allow you to give him his credit. The narcissist in you will always continue to use his name to continue to make your name a bit relevant and continue to remind people that I'm the one to beat him. I'm the only guy that's beat this kid. Well, congratulations. Congratulations. But hey, if you say that he's still the same fighter, if you say that you can beat him still, I say that the only best way to do it is put your money where your mouth is. That's it. How about an exhibition match? Since you like exhibition with big guys, how about an exhibition match where all of the proceeds go for St. Jude? How you go that? There you go. Help St. Jude battle cancer for kids, cancer on kids. That would be not only a great fight, that would be not only a pay-per-view blockbuster, that would be a good charity for the kids in St. Jude. Or how about use the money to put wells in Africa, South America, Central America? Get in there and prove to the world that Canelo is still the same fighter, and prove to the world you can still beat Canelo. And I guarantee you it will break pay-per-view record. Networks will be killing themselves to have that fight put on their networks. I guarantee you that. But maybe it's not good, right? Maybe you don't want to do that. I don't know. I don't know why, since in your opinion, Canelo is the same fighter and you can still beat him. Guido in the building. Chat Pettis in the building. Thank you, fellas. We'll start with Guido. What's up, brother?
Dímelo de lo mío, mi hermano. ¿Cómo está?
We are here. We are good. We are alive and well. We are blessed and happy, man. Happy.
Yeah, man. We got the great news. Punch is doing good, man. You know what I mean? Keep fighting, Punch, man. Get ready. You know what I mean? Get better, brother. You know what I mean? We just
Major
gotta go
Key in the building. What's up, brother? Correct. You know? Correct.
I'm glad you were able to see what's going on this YTBC. You know?
Oh yeah,
man. Yeah.
I've dealt with similar kinds of people in the past, but I honestly didn't know that this. I'm not even going to mention his name. That dude was like that, but I'm glad it happened. I'm grateful for him. I will always thank him for showing me his true colors. Now I know who he truly is and how to deal with him and where to place him. So, and that's the way I'm going to choose to look at it. And I'll continue on mine, and he'll continue on his. Yeah. But you see, his evil wishes were destroyed by the power of prayer. Punch is doing great. Life goes on, brother. Life goes on.
The truth will always set you free.
Yeah. You shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free. What you thought about this fight, man?
Wow, Gervonta Davis and
yes, sir.
Cruz fight?
Yes, sir.
I was surprised, honestly. I was really surprised with Cruz, how he was gonna come. I thought Gervonta was gonna just knock this dude out. I'll admit that, you know what I mean? But I was surprised how this fight turned out. I'm surprised also he ate all his shots. I mean, man, this guy took all his best shots and then he kept coming forward the whole night. And I feel like he was giving Tank a hell of a work, you know. Body shots was on point, you know. He didn't let Tank breathe at all. I felt like Tank gave a lot of rounds away, like in the championship round, you know. I think he was moving too much, you know. So I don't got a problem if he had a draw, you know. But in my opinion, I had a 7-5 because I felt like those body shots was really getting to Tank, you know.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So It was a surprise though. I'm not gonna
So
lie, you
so
know.
so how did you have the fight? Were you okay with the decision? Did you had it a draw? Did you thought Cruz won? I thought you thought Cruz won, right?
Yeah, I had 7-5 for Cruz, but I won't be mad if it was a draw, because it should have
Correct.
been a draw at best. Yeah, so
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
mad, you know. So, yeah.
Correct, correct. Before I go to chat, let me read this comment. LVEA. I was rooting for Cruz, but I had Tank winning by at least one round, max two, because fought his off, and he impressed and made people proud. However, I can't be biased. Tank won. That's fair. That's a fair. If that's the way you saw it, kudos to you, man. Like I said, it was a close fight. I had it a draw. Um, if somebody gives it to Cruz, great. Somebody gives it to Tank, great. I also understand, but yeah, Mario Brown in the building. Welcome, man. Thank you for being here. Cruz was a better fighter than everyone thought. It happens. Doesn't mean Tank didn't show up. No, I agree. Chad, what's up, my brother? How you doing? How you been?
What up, man? You doing all right?
Yes, sir. We're here, man. You know how it is.
Awesome, man. Yeah, no, I think yesterday was another example of when you go pick a cherry, man, you got to go all the way back to like Danny Garcia. I mean, it's there have been obviously earlier cherry picks, but like I just feel like Danny Garcia was one of those at 140, kind of fighting like a Mauricio Herrera at
Oh,
that point in time. And he got busted up in the mouth, the nose. Man, I don't know
he should have
when
lost
like
that fight too. He
he
should
should
have
have lost
lost
that
that.
fight.
Yeah.
Should have lost that fight. But again, we knew it was coming. You had a bunch of Danny train riders, jumping on the bandwagon like
Correct.
and rocking with him until he actually lost, and we saw that his skill level just isn't what it's supposed to be at or what they made it out to be. He did fight some good fighters coming up, but again, they were B-level fighters, and so. But going to Tank, man, again, man, you would think this would be like the year of the upsets because you have Cambosa's upsetting Tio, who everybody thought Cambosa's was going to get knocked out in one round, right? Even Tio even said it, right? Same thing with this Tank fight. Nobody knew who Cruz was. I had it a draw, but just because I tend to like try to think of things objectively, Tank is the champion, so you gotta give some of those sway rounds
I understand.
to the
Yeah.
champion. Yeah, it's. But it reminded me a lot of the Maidana fight against Mayweather.
Ooh.
It did, and so it it was like Maidana number one 2.0. Like the first fight with Maidana, body shots were crazy. He just was pressuring Tank to where Tank really couldn't get off. Some smothering was happening. He's trying to get those shots that Tank was throwing to be smothered and not have as much power. He was blocking the uppercuts like crazy.
Correct.
I thought he did a great job of that because that's Tank's money. The uppercut
Yeah.
is nasty. He'll shoot a 45. And it's nasty too. But
Yeah.
I think that's what he knocked Cruz out with Santa
Put in the
Cruz.
sleep.
Man, hellacious. I'm a Tank fan. I do think that he's a good fighter.
Oh, so do I. I think he's good.
I think that he's not being allowed to be tested again. Floyd is definitely running that train. Like he's the conductor. He's not allowing any cross promotional fights. I think that Raleigh fight was really sketchy the way it went down, and they canceled it. Like that would have been a better fight on paper, but they went with the cherry and they got what they got. I don't think they'll ever learn the lesson, but man, you got to stop putting your best fighters and your marquee fighters in against unknown fighters, against fighters who may create the upset, and you lose a lot of money, man. Look at Tio. Like,
Correct.
he's lost so much potential. What's great, baby? So many potential fights as far as money goes that, man, you got to honestly just go into a rebuild. So If I were Floyd Mayweather and Leonard Ellerbe, I'd really start to look to cash out in a way. Unless you're moving to 140 and staying there, or even going to 147, you got to cash out. You got to start to think cash out because you don't want to put your guy in another Cruz situation and have a potential upset. Man, I just don't see how that's smart business. And it's time to bring up the skill level, man.
Correct.
Of the fighters he's facing.
I'm down to similar, same line as you. I mean, I think Tank has potential to be better. I think the promotional company's mentality of doing business is not allowing him to test himself and continue to grow his legacy. I think they're trying to make their way, through the easy paths and make the money. And with that being said, they're doing more damage than anything else to his fighter, because Tank has potential to be great, but in order to be great, it's like when you go to the gym, you start working out, you eventually reach a plateau effect. And what happens is then you have to add more weight or change the routine to continue to make improvement. I think Tank has reached a plateau effect with the level of opposition he was fighting, right? And he stayed there too long at that plateau effect level that here came Cruz and made him look horrible.
Yep.
Horrible. And so now he's got to either adjust. He's got to adjust and continue to get fights at that level, or maybe just a tiny bit, and try to really win in there and make the fight just grow as a fighter. It's what I'm trying to say.
And that's the problem, Ranger, right there. That's the problem, because the more you keep fighting these weak fighters, you're not going to get motivated in that gym. You know what I'm saying? You got to look at
you're
this
not going to grow.
Guy out.
Exactly. You're not going to grow as a fighter.
It's not worth it.
Major key boxing in the building. Everybody go check the brother out and subscribe to his channel. What is going on, my brother?
What's going on, B? Man, just got home, man. About to set up the live later on for like 9:30 or a little bit after
tonight,
that.
Major?
Huh?
I'm
cooking all this, man. I'm cooking all this, man. You know what? I'm going to be honest, man. Isaac Cruz, look, I knew he was a dog, but he did surprise me. I was talking to Peter Von Arx in the chat, and Peter said that he wasn't surprised. And I was surprised for a few reasons, because he likes to throw wide shots, and it looked like he was susceptible to the uppercut of Gervonta Tank Davis. And that's one of the reasons. And I didn't know that he had a chin on him like that. And I didn't know that he actually had those quick hands as he had, because his hands were still slower than Gervonta Davis. However, they were a lot faster than I expected. You know what I mean? Like from his previous fights. So, and I guess it was his timing. I think it was his timing more than just speed. He was expecting certain things, and he was looking for him, and he was catching Tank Davis. So that was a great fight, man. That was a great fight.
So coming into the fight, what was your expectations? Did you thought Tank would?
I picked Tank Davis knockout 4
on the 4th round. Great. I mean, a lot of people. I ran a poll yesterday. A lot of people picked Tank via the KO victory, but we saw. Let me get caught up a little bit with some of the comments here. Mike C, welcome to the building, man. Thank you so much for the support, man. It says neither won the fight. Should have been a draw. I agree. Should be Tio versus Tank next. That would be a great fight. However, I want to see Tio stay away from the ring for the next year and take care of everything he's got going on outside of the ring. Let's see. Or versus Haney. Let's see. Should be Tio versus Tank. Haney versus Cambosos. Give the fans a fight to see. Not this bull crap. Talking and cherry picking fights. I could not agree with you a lot more, with the exception of the Tio thing. Again, there's things I'm not going to share just yet. I don't want to sound like I'm making excuses for Tio, but Tio, in my opinion, cannot be in the ring at least for a year. He needs at least a year to take care of all of the hell that he's going through outside of the ring. Rejuvenate his body. Like I said, take care of those family issues and then come back to the ring. And I wouldn't even be mad if he comes back with a cherry pick just to get the feel back again. But I don't want to see Tio in the ring at least, not up to, but at least minimum of a year. And that's being honest. That's being extremely honest.
Yeah, the guy almost died in the ring. Did y'all see the article from ESPN?
And that was, and I gave that article a 95% accuracy rating. And again, I'm not interested in proving whether what they're saying is true or not, because there are some things I cannot share just yet. And no matter what I'd say, it's irrelevant. I'm not making excuses. He decided to step in there to fight. He threw a punch, meaning Kambosos had all the rights to come back with one of his own. So now you got to deal with the consequences of your mistakes. And so, not making excuses, but things are not as they seem to be. Peter von Arx. That's a hell of a last name. Pretty interesting, though, unique. Tank didn't win 10, 11, or 12. I agree with you, sir. I totally agree with you. Let's see. Let me get caught up a little bit more here. You saw Pitbull blocking them uppercuts. Yes, I saw Pitbull blocking the uppercuts, coming back with some of his own. You could tell Pitbull studied that uppercut because every time Tank was setting it up, Pitbull had that hand there ready to block it and come back with one of his own. Sometimes he would miss on his counter. Sometimes he would land. But Pitbull really studied this fighter. Pitbull did his homework coming into this fight. He showed me something. I'm glad that another talent has been born in the lightweight division. I guess is what I'm trying to say. And again, I'll say, to me, this should be the leading weight division in boxing right now because it's so packed with talent, but the drama is too much. It feels like I'm looking at a telenovela from Univision. You know what I mean? It's so much drama in that damn division that it sickens me. It sickens me, to be honest with you. Pitbull lunges in. He protected himself from the uppercut really well. I give him props for that. Yeah, you cannot deny the kid, did his homework. You cannot deny the talent that this kid brought forth. You cannot deny the surprise. And if you disagree, just look at Mayweather's reaction throughout the whole fight, how he only smiled through a couple of rounds, and then the rest, he was up, he was anxious, he was nervous, he had a serious face. And then all you got to do is go back and look at the post-fight interview when he was asked in the ring, hey, you going to run it back as a rematch? Hell no. I don't want to.
He don't want that heat no more, Angel. He don't want that heat. He doesn't want that body shot no more.
Facts.
Ranger also can because you asked me who did I predict to win, but you never asked me who I had winning.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Well, my bad, bro. Tell me who you had winning.
And the reason I say that is because I agree with some of the rounds. I had round 1 and 2 both going to Cruz. Okay, I felt like both of those were clear rounds for Cruz. I had round 3 clearly going for Davis. Round 4 was one that I picked for Cruz, but it was a swing round. I felt like round 5 was actually more of a swing round where it was like, wow, nobody really did anything at the end of the round to really clear that out. You know what I mean? Round 7 was type of a swing round, but I felt like it was closed a little better by Cruz, and then 10, 11, 12. So I had Cruz winning actually 7-5, if not a draw. A draw was fair to me.
Yeah, that's
but I didn't see how you could. I could have seen a draw, because some of the swing rounds. But I feel like in my book I had at least a definitive 6 rounds for Cruz, and that's where I at least had it a draw. You know what I mean? But the swing rounds, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
That's
and by the way, when it comes to the defense, I want to say that because I'm about to talk about this in about 45 minutes. But the defense, let me tell you something, bro. Like his head movement, he was coming in, and then sometimes Tank was throwing shots because he was expecting Cruz to come in, and he would just take a step back, and everything would miss. You know what I mean? With like you said, with the right hand guarding his chin every time he ducked low. You know what I mean? With his hands up, bro. Like great defense. I did not expect that. I did not expect that from Isaac Cruz, to be honest with you. He definitely did his homework.
Like I said,
what did Showtime
has been born in the lightweight division, and all props goes to Mr. Cruz. Go ahead, Chad.
Yeah, what did Showtime have it? I forget. I wasn't really paying attention to their scorecard.
I think Showtime had it 115, 112, 1 something, 111, and then 115, 112.
No, as far as the Steve Farhood.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't pay attention to I forgot what Steve Farhood had it as.
See, I didn't either. I usually do, but I wouldn't paying attention. Anybody catch that? Major P or
anybody?
What part? Well, I'm sorry, I missed that one. What was the question?
What were the unofficial scorecard? By Steve Farhood?
It was 2 115 to 113 and 116 to 112.
No, the unofficial by Steve Farhood. With the guy that.
Steve Farhood. No. You know what? They weren't showing it like how we usually see it. I was waiting for those two, and I didn't see it most of the fight. So I don't know if they were slipping them in. Yeah, exactly. Of course. You already know.
They were working the magic, and that's just it. And
working
listen,
the fix.
You could hear the bias too, man, on the commentators. The bias in these commentators. Man, ever since Pacquiao fought Tim Bradley, I'd say turn out the commentators. These people know better. I'm not gonna even say they don't know boxing. They know boxing up to a certain level. They know what they're seeing in there. When a punch lands on somebody's face, you know who threw the punch and you know where the punch landed. But somehow they have this mission they what they've done is they've already placed these two fighters. This was the more athletic. This is the more skillful. So let's be a little biased towards him. We got to talk good about him because some of the rounds that Cruz was clearly winning, they were talking about Tank like Tank was having a lollipop sitting in the park bench.
Yeah.
And that to me is super unfair for the listener, for the audience. You got people that are casual fans that don't really know what they're seeing. And now after they see the fight, they're like, oh yeah, man, Tank really put a beating on that kid. No, he didn't. Tank didn't even win that fight, in my opinion.
To round 7 was a perfect example of that, by the way. Because honestly speaking, if you watch that round and you don't listen, because the commentators were like, oh, wow, Tank caught him. And I think they both caught each other with both left hooks at the same time. You know what I mean? And they were both, going in, but Tank was missing line there. Oh, look at his athleticism. Look at his speed. It's just coming into play now. He's just dominating now. He's taking over, And it's bro, this shit don't look like that to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey.
It's crazy.
And that's the business of boxing that I don't like. You know what I'm saying? That's corruption right there, Even if Cruz would have had a close fight, we all know at the end of the day, they weren't going to give it to Cruz. You know what I'm saying? That's the least expected, When you fight against a Mayweather fighter, forget about it.
True.
Or PBC.
That's true. Mr. Ray is boxing one-on-one here says, talking about Mayweather, of course. He talks about himself, then likes it like it's all about Tank. Oh, of course, the narcissism in Mayweather, it's all about him. And then if I got some left over, I'll talk about Tank, but it's all about Tank because that's my fighter. We're here tonight to talk about fighters, about my fighters. So, Floyd, what do you think about Tank's performance? When I was a fighter, when I done it, I remember I sold that arena. Well, I don't care. Ain't nobody asking you what you did when you was a fighter. Talk to me about Tank. Answer my question legitimately. I want to know what's up with Tank. I don't want to hear you talk about when you did it. I don't want to hear the name Canelo Alvarez. Canelo has nothing to do in this scenario. Tank's not in the same weight division. Tank's not in the same weight division. Why are you bringing up Canelo? That's what I don't understand. Why are you talking about yourself when you should be talking and elevating your fighter? The fighter, by the way, that you're making money out of. You would think that your job as a promoter is to promote the fighter, not to promote a retired boxer named Floyd Mayweather. And then, you know what? Let me find 30 seconds to talk about Tank. That's not how it works. But I'm glad you guys are seeing that. I'm glad you guys are seeing that because you know what? If y'all call me a hater, then all I got to do is do is go back and watch the videos. Mr. Peter says here.
Hey, Wenzel, you know why I don't get it either? Yeah, government, bye-bye. You know why I don't understand about Mayweather? He loves to bring up the PED situation, right? But he has not realized that Canelo has come clean every fight. Even if the
Well, he
last
likes.
fight with Caleb Plant, both fighters have came out clean. So if you're
Yeah.
gonna live, you're gonna still talk about the past. You know what I'm saying? I just don't
Well, you know,
understand
it's
Mayweather. I
crazy that.
think what it is for Mayweather, he's feeling threatened by Canelo. He's
Oh,
feeling
he's
threatened
been.
by
Are you kidding
Canelo.
me?
You know what I mean?
He's super jealous.
Yeah,
He's super jealous.
yeah,
But I find it funny that he will bring that situation with Canelo, but he will never bring the fact that he got caught
yeah. The IV,
injecting
yeah,
an IV of banned
yeah.
substances before the Pacquiao fight. How come we don't talk about that? Now the question should be, Floyd Mayweather, how many times did you do that through your career that we didn't know about? I'll just leave it at that. I'll do the same thing you did. I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't know, Floyd. I don't know. Mr. Peter here says some fans are doubtful Haney will fight George in Australia. Personally, I think Haney will go for it. I think Haney will go for it because I think Haney is on a mission to become. This is all against the Lopez to become the undisputed with all of the belts. You hear it out of his father's mouth. You hear it out of his mouth. He never acknowledged Teofimo as a legitimate undisputed. But when Kambosos won, he posted a tweet. Congratulations to Kambosos for his hard-earned victory. #real undisputed. Interesting how that works, right? So, but I agree with you. I think Haney, if Kambosos decide to go for it, I think Haney will accept, and I think he will go for to Australia. And another advantage of going to Australia is not just so much the making the fight, but the money that will be put, by billionaires out there that were trying to make the Teofimo happen out there. I think they'll pay to see Kambosos fight in Australia versus Devin Haney. Why not? That would be a pretty good investment. That would be a good fight for boxing. I think so. Mr. A-Rod in the building. What is going on, my brother? Welcome.
What's going on, everybody? Saludos.
What's going on, brother? Talk to
Can
me.
you hear me good?
Yeah, we can hear you good. Talk to me about this
Yeah,
fight. What
I
were your
think
thoughts?
Pitbull did a good job. Like somebody pointed out earlier, I mean that he did a great job by blocking that uppercut. Even when he didn't even see it coming, he practically just.
Uh-oh, you're breaking up bad, brother.
Sometimes they caught him in the face a little bit, but great job.
My boy glitching. My boy is glitching.
Yeah, we're gonna have to
breaking up now.
out. Hey, Ross, sign out and come again because you're breaking extremely
bad. I'll be back.
All right. Let me see. I told Mighty Max the kid was going to go 12 grueling rounds. He didn't believe me either. Well, sometimes people don't believe you, and then, I'll bet you Tank Davis didn't believe he was not going to knock Cruz out. I'll guarantee you, him and his team thought we're going to go in there, play with this kid for 2-3 rounds, and then we're going to turn his lights out. And look what happened. Do you think it's possible that Floyd Mayweather is so competitive that he is afraid to lose at anything, including promoting, which is why he is scared to give Tank a real challenge? That's what I was saying earlier. Not just competitive. I think he can't fathom at the idea of anybody else being the center of attention when it comes to boxing. I believe that's why he's constantly bashing Canelo, and I believe that's why the reason he's not allowing Tank Davis to grow on his legacy. Yeah, they're making him money, but they're not working in his legacy at all. 3-division world champ against who? Who did he fought? Who did he fight?
Not a single person.
Exactly, the first very credible, and I give him credit for the Leo Santa Cruz fight. By the way, the fight that he was losing until he got the knockout. I give him credit for that, but that's it. That's it. Gamboa, Barrio. And now you fight a kid, young, fresh, with a decent record. And we got people out here talking about you lost. People out here talking about it was a draw. And other people saying, yeah, you won. Ooh. And then when they ask you, listen, when you want to run it back? Hell no. That was your answer. That was your answer. Peter Vaughn here said, Floyd wants to take Tank to greatness with the least amount of resistance. Can't blame him for that. I can't blame him for that, but you know what? We were just talking about this yesterday, as a matter of fact. When Floyd was coming up and he'd done the exact same thing for himself, first as Pretty Boy Floyd, he never picked and choose. He fought whoever, and he beat them. The lightweight division today does not have a Diego Corrales. The lightweight division today doesn't have a Jose Luis Castillo. These legendary fighters that Pretty Boy Floyd faced and made them look horrible. Right? Made them look horrible, except Castillo. Castillo did really good in the first fight. Second fight was no question. Floyd came in and just put on a clinic. Right? And so, although he's trying to do the exact same thing with Tank, the problem still remains that people are going to look at the level of opposition Floyd had against the level of opposition that we have today. And old heads like me, I'm not going to like that. I'm not going to see it the same way. I'm going to look at the oppositions Floyd had, and I'm like, damn, this kid, when he was Pretty Boy Floyd, he fought everyone. This kid Tank, he's fighting cherry picks and halfway decent fighters. And yeah, he's becoming 3-time division world champ, but so what? There's a lot of, I'm starved. When it comes to Tank Davis, when it comes to Devin Haney, I am starved. I am starved as a boxing fan. I've watched them. I think they're good fighters. But when I hear other channels talking about, yeah, Devin Haney, he is the next Floyd Mayweather. No, he's not. Tank Davis, he'll be the face of boxing. No, he won't. Nothing is being done to make this kid the face of boxing. Nothing. I think it was HLD yesterday. They said if you take Devin Haney's belts away, and now I'm going to add, if you take Tank Davis 3-division world champions away, they look like really good up-and-coming contenders. They look like really good title challengers. Why? Because you go to the resume and you don't see a great name in their resume. You just don't. When they could have, but they haven't. And all we got is the now. And that's all I can say when it comes to that. Anything else? A-Rod? Oh, A-Rod didn't. Oh, no, A-Rod didn't come back.
And Renzen, that's the problem, man. They want to prove David Haney like the next Floyd Mayweather. And then when he gets clicked, you know, then people look at him like he got exposed. You know what I'm saying? That's because he put in too much hype behind David Haney. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Even against Jojo Diaz, he was getting hit, you know? A lot of shots, you know? What I'm saying? That's what happens when you bring a lot of hype machine. That's what happens, bro. You know?
That is correct. Major Key, what's next in your opinion for Tank and Mr. Cruz, man? Who would you like to see these fighters go up against in their next fight?
So for Tank, I would like to see him it depends on what weight division he wants to campaign at next, to be completely honest with you. If he wants to campaign still at 135, then I need to see a name. I need to see and I don't want to see Devin Haney because I want Devin Haney Cambosos just to figure this whole franchise shit out and just do what they need to do. So in the meantime, I would like to see him against maybe a Lomachenko, maybe what do you call it? Not a Nakatani. What's his the fucking other guy's name?
Richard Coleman.
I don't want to jump the gun, but I feel like Lomachenko's gonna outpoint Comey. But yeah, that's a good fight too. What's the young Puerto Rican guy's name, bro? That's moving up, another contender, because fuck, man. Or did he already move up to 140? What's his name? Michel.
La Salsa Rivera.
Yeah, where's he campaigning right now? I thought he was at 135.
No, he's 40 now. Remember,
he's at 140. Okay, so 140. Yeah, all right. So that's why I asked before I even said it.
Yeah. He was gonna. No, La Salsa Rivera is nothing to be messing with, dog.
I know, but that's why I say when he's campaigning, because I've been thinking about these names. I don't think he's ready for no Josh Taylor. You know what I'm saying? I don't even think he's ready for Ramirez. I don't think he's ready for a Prograis or nothing like that. And I'm talking all about Tank. For Devin Haney, like I said, I want to see Cambosos. For Isaac Cruz deserves maybe like a shot at Jojo Diaz now. You know what I'm saying?
Love that
maybe
fight.
A shot. Huh?
Love that fight.
Right, exactly, because it's gonna be action packed. You know what I'm saying? I would enjoy putting them against somebody that's actually gonna fight back. You know what I mean? Because he's just an action packed fighter, man. He's gonna come forward and he's gonna make you brawl. You know, so if he's staying at 135, I would like to see that. You know, I think he was a smaller guy against. He was a smaller guy against Tank Davis. So he's probably gonna stay at 135 for a minute. But yeah, smaller competition. I don't want to see him fight a very very skilled fighter like a Lomachenko yet. You know what I mean? Because he's definitely young, 23, and barely 23, and he needs to work out some of the kinks. You know that the same way he improved against Gervonta Davis, improve a little more before you start going in there against a highly technically skilled boxer like Lomachenko. You know what I mean?
I agree.
But yeah, man.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, again, I'll repeat it. I'll sound like a broken record, but this is a fact. A star has been born. I am so glad another talent has been added to this weight division. All it does is makes competition a little stiffer. Pitbull Cruz has made a name for himself after last night's fight. And I guarantee you that you'll have some fighters wanting to fight him, and you'll have some fighters not wanting to fight him. And that's what happens whenever you put such a performance like you did last night. Vitaly Pico here says, "Hey Ranger, can you please elaborate more on the IV on the Pacquiao fight?" Yes, according to was it Dan Raphael or some one of the, you can Google it, you'll see who the person was. Vada walked in because Vada and all this drug company, they don't have to they don't have to tell you when they're coming in. All they do is knock on your door and say, "Surprise, we're here." And apparently, Floyd got caught hooked to an IV that the IV had banned substances that were not allowed, or approved by any of the VADA or USADA. And the question still remains, in the same way he brought forth the question for Canelo, how many fights has been able to do this and not get caught? Since I like things fair with the same energy, now I raise the question: how many times did Floyd did this throughout his career, and he never got caught?
Can I clarify that one? I just want to clarify that one. Because I remember this like it was yesterday. And so basically what happened was, so there's a time frame and when you can inject intravenously, and within, I think is a week or something like that,
correct,
or a certain amount of days, you can't do that. And he did not get approval until 21 days after the fight. However, he fought for Pacquiao to get his injection for his inflammation on his right arm, right? So the thing was that he did something basically that was illegal, and it wasn't even approved before the fight. It got approved 21 days later. Meanwhile, Pacquiao was deterred from using his inflammation medication, right? Because that was supposedly illegal at that time as well, because he didn't fill out the right paperwork beforehand. So that's, you see what I'm saying? So that shit look real funny. You know what I mean? But because intravenous, when you use an IV, right, which is the intravenous, injections or whatever, like basically, like that is not allowed at all. It's not allowed, because what you can do is basically supplement vitamins and other things and even masking agents and stuff like that, and put that straight into your veins within this time frame, and then it can't be like found.
Correct.
And so that's why it's illegal. You see what I'm saying? They need to test it a week in advance or something like that. So just to clarify on that one.
No. Correct. But also, remember, people seem to ignore. Mayweather told Pacquiao, "Accept the fight. I will allow you. I will be okay with you taking your anti-inflammatories." And the night of the fight, Mayweather didn't allow it. The corner didn't allow it. Nobody allowed Pacquiao. He was not allowed to take his anti-inflammatory. It's kind of like, here's the hook, bite it, you're in it, I got you, so to speak. And the question once again goes, how many times has Floyd done this? Never been caught. That's just a fair question to the situation. You know what I mean? So I hope that kind of clears it up a bit for you, Mr. Vitaly, and thank you for the support once again. You know, yeah, man. Anybody else
Hey,
has
Ranger,
anything
I'm
to
about to
add?
time out. All
Mhm.
right, brother?
Yeah,
I'm about
bro,
to
do
go to
your
the
thing.
store
Thank
real
you for.
quick. All right, brother. Thank you for having me.
Tráeme una soda, brother. Tráeme una
¿Qué
soda.
tú quieres? ¿Una leche o café? ¿Qué es lo que tú quieres? ¿Un café?
All right, brother.
All
Thank
right,
you for
brother.
stopping by, man.
I need a cheesecake from Brooklyn, bro. Go get that shit for me, bro.
¿Qué tú quieres? ¿Un Philly cheesesteak también? ¿Con papita? ¿Eh?
Thank you for
All
being
right,
here,
bro.
man. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the support. But yeah, man, I think we've covered this topic well enough. I mean, I thank you guys for stepping in here and sharing the panel with me tonight. I was really expecting HLD, but I think he's tired. You know, estos puertorriqueños cuando comen pasteles, when they eat pasteles, they get a little
Hey, it's
lazy,
the
man.
holidays, man. It's the holidays. You know what I mean? That's what
They
we
eat.
love, pasteles, bro.
You know, they get a little lazy on me, bro, and that's fine,
Hey,
man. That's fine.
but
Cubans eat lechon asado. Puerto Ricans eat pasteles. It's all good, man. It's all good. It's all
yeah,
good.
man. Hey, if you don't mind if I plug, man, I'm gonna be
Plug
on
it.
like 9:45 at 10 o'clock, and just like maybe 25 to 45 minutes. We'll be on Major Key Boxing. You know, come check us out. We'll be talking about these subjects and a little more. So talking about the YTBC a little bit. We're gonna talk on a lot of different subjects. It's gonna be open panel. And shit like that. So I
For
appreciate you having
sure.
me on, Ranger. You know, it's always love, brother. You know what I'm
Anytime,
saying?
brother.
And we always appreciate what you do, man. So peace to you.
Anytime, man. Thank you for stopping by and contributing tonight, man, with the live stream. Everybody go check him out. Major Key Boxing. Make sure to check his content out. If you like it, make sure to subscribe, activate the notification bell, and enjoy the rest of your journey with him. Chad Perez, man, thank you so much for your contributions tonight.
Yeah, no problem. I'll be there. I'll check out Major Key tonight. Actually, been meaning to check him out, so I'll be there, man.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, dude, thank you for the opportunity as always, brother.
Not a problem. Not a problem. Once again, before I go, I'd like to thank all of those of you that have kept punching your prayers. Here's a text he sent me earlier where he tells me that he's doing great. He's heavily medicated. Obviously, his speech is not good. He's been reading all of the love that he's been getting. And thank you. God is good. And to that, I say amen. God is good. And the prayers have been answered. Aside from all of the evil people were wishing upon him, wanting him that he would die, people saying that this was a fake thing. Everything's being debunked. Thank you, Mr. Peters. Thank you for your contribution tonight. Thank you for stopping by, Mr. Steele, El Chido Boxing, Mario Brown, Shaka Milk Rogers. Let me see who else. I don't want to forget nobody. Jose Pereira. Let's see. HLD, thank you so much. Always with the support. Tony Boswell, thank you so much, my brother, for the support. Yo, no. Sorry, man. I missed your comments, man. But thank you for being here. Shoeshine Boxing in the building. Also, go check his channel out. They have a show every Monday night. Make sure to go check him out. Aztec 101, thank you for being here. Thank you for the support. Ignacio Juarez, sorry I missed your comment, but I want to thank you for the support as well, man. And thank all of you. Tycho TV, Pagan Warpmaster, all of y'all. Mike C, I can go on and on and on and on and on and on. Thank you so much for stopping by. God bless every single one of you. And stay tuned for the next one, man. In the meantime, go check. I just uploaded a little video of my brother-in-law having a little sparring section, just shaking off the ring rust after almost a year of inactivity. The kid's doing good. He's working with the big dogs in Florida now. He still lives here in Kentucky, but from time to time, he goes down to Miami, works with Pedro Luis Diaz and that team of Mundo Boxing. And I expect to see this kid in the next few years making his way into the pro ranks and doing extremely good, man. That's it for now. Raw Boxing TV. God bless every single one of you. I'm out.